Thanks, John, for taking me for lunch. That was a nice place and I really enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, there's Carl. What's up, Carl?
What's up? I just had one hell of a shitty interview. That's what's up.
Oh.
What happened?
Well, what happened? The gal I interviewed was a cripple.
Not my job, but...
Hi, guys.
Hey, Roxanne, how are you? Good. Just hang on, I'll get you out of the way here for you. Good she heal?
Boy, was that an uncomfortable interview.
Carl, that's what we discussed in our last staff meeting, that you should always have a HR person in your interview.
Yes, Carl, on every interview, you have to have an HR person.
HR. I mean, you guys went through, screened the resumes. I got 3 handed to me. The one that looked the best, I called. And she rolls in. She's a cripple.
He didn't see a person with a disability. He was one of those guys from the old school that just saw a cripple.
There's a lot of those out there. Lots. I've been on tons of interviews. I remember going to one interview, and the guy saw me in a scooter, and he decided to speak louder, thinking I was deaf. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I can recall one interview that I was on where the person who was conducting the interview mentioned to me, oh, make sure that you look at the person you're addressing. So I turned to her and said, will this be fine?
Unbelievable.
I mean, sure, she meets the requirements of the job, but isn't there a sheltered workshop or something she could be working at?
But Carl, people with disabilities want to work.
They're not looking for handouts.
I don't want to be taken under anybody's wing. You know, like, I don't know if these people realize that I have a home that I maintain, a vehicle, I pay bills, I pay taxes when I work. You know, I do everything a normal person does, and I still manage to get out there and try and find a job.
I know, it's insane. I mean, just over the past year when I started up my own practice, and I have a wife and I have 2 kids and my own home, damn near floors up. It's like I'm not supposed to have a family or have a life or anything at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding, you know, it's really frustrating. I mean, you work your ass off to try to do the right thing, become a productive member of society, become gainfully employed, and give something back, right?
Well, and I knew the interview was going south when the guy asked me what put me in the chair.
No kidding. Yeah.
You what?
You what? Carl, you should not ask her about her disability. Think about her ability. After all, I'm sure she must be having good skills to offer to our company.
You HR people are living in a dreamland. I've got a budget to meet. I can't afford to renovate. All for the sake of one person.
I was trying to tell the guy that all I would need for accommodations, a few drawers moved. Oh, hi, David.
Who's that?
It's a friend of mine. He's deaf.
Oh, really?
Let me introduce you. Oops, and I got a pad here. This is Keith.
Pleased to meet you, Dave.
All right. This is Jason. J-O... son, right.
How you doing?
I'm just going to write that I just came from an interview. I wonder what Dave does for accommodations.
Interesting question.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about interpreters.
You would think they would.
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact that as far as adaptive technology for the blind and visually impaired, I know that there is federal funding available, so why wouldn't there be funding available for the hearing impaired or the deaf? One of my hardest things to do is convince an employer that they're not going to be out of pocket just to hire me.
I think this employer that interviewed me would be quite surprised to know that David has, you know, a good job. He's married. He has 3 beautiful daughters. Plus, he's an avid cyclist. He bikes to and from work every day.
Wow.
I bet this guy would be shocked. They have an agency that covers interpreters at job interviews through provincial government funding. Oh, awesome.
Wicked.
Awesome. Take care. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We were talking about, accommodations and costs. Well, the next problem this guy came up with was insurance.
Carl, it does not affect our insurance.
And we're already wheelchair accessible. We have a computer. She really doesn't need a special room. The costs are really low.
And our paybacks are high.
But with the project I have in mind for her, I mean, there's a chance she could fail, and well, I just couldn't do that to her. I'd hate to see her fail.
All I saw from that guy was pity. You know, I don't know, like, doesn't he realize, you know, what it takes for
It's
a
not
person.
pity we're looking for. It's a damn job.
No, it's too bad they don't recognize the unique skills that, we might bring to the table. I mean, just going grocery shopping is, a problem-solving,
Well, exactly.
extravaganza.
Getting out of bed in the morning is a problem-solving
Yeah.
ability. Do you know how many employers would kill to have an employee that could think on their feet or on their wheels, so to speak? Isn't that just a tremendous marketable skill to have, or talent for some people?
Well, for example, I like to use humor as a problem-solving technique. If someone's feeling some unease in communicating or worried about what kind of questions they might want to ask you, about tact or whatever, I think that humor is a great way to break the ice and establish a comfort zone.
Yeah.
And in fact, that is a problem-solving technique.
Absolutely. And it just goes to show that we think on a different plane, or we can think on a different plane.
Yeah.
We're not so rigid.
So I guess what the two of you are saying is that people with disabilities really don't have a higher rate of absenteeism, and it's not going to affect my budget, and their skills are just as high as anyone else. And so, in fact, I probably sold that gal short. I think I'm going to call her back and do a second interview. And this time I'm going to have one of you with me.
My wife works, I gotta make sure the house is clean and do things around the house and work. It's crazy.
Oh. Hello? Yes. Sure. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, I got a second interview.
Sweet!
Yeah, things must be changing.
Congratulations, Roxanne.